You're watching the Dallas Cowboys Report, presented today by Aura, the all-in-one digital safety tool. They're giving you a free 14-day trial of their entire product when you head over, for free again, at aura.com/chatsports. That link will be in the comment section, and it will be in the description. From Isaiah, will the Cowboys D be the same? From a scheme perspective, yeah, they're not going to change anything there. From a production standpoint, I do think there will be some changes. Obviously, your main roster shuffling was Gregory's out, Sam Williams is in, and you're hoping for impact from Kelvin Joseph, John Ridgeway. Kind of rolled it back to an extent. My hope that's realistic is, as the Cowboys likely force fewer turnovers, just because there is some randomness involved in that from a consistency standpoint, my hope is that they are better on third downs. They were not great on third downs last year. They ended up getting evened out with the turnovers. So if the turnovers go down, I want third down stops to go up, and that'll end up being fairly similar. From Jeremy Berner, it's back again. Is the $22 million just being used for rollover? Pretty much, yeah. I mean, they might sign a guy, maybe two guys for $5 million total. They'll leave some money for we got to sign this guy to our practice squad in December, but that's $100,000. So, yeah, most of it's going to be used for rollover. Because remember, if those of you that don't know, whatever money you don't spend each season of the salary cap is rolled over to next year. From Brent Woods, everyone talks about DK Metcalf, but what about trading for Tyler Lockett? Oh, okay. I actually think trading Lockett away makes more sense from Seattle's perspective because Metcalf is young, he's a key piece of their core, but Lockett is not. The money isn't ideal for a Lockett trade with the way they've done his deals so far because, they thought they would still have Russell Wilson, etc. I think Lockett would be a fun addition. They could be cheaper than DK Metcalf. My guess is the Cowboys say no because that's how they operate. But I would say that Lockett is a more feasible target, especially from the Cowboys' perspective, than DK Metcalf is. So when it comes specifically to Lockett, would you trade for him if the cost was a conditional third round pick, somewhere in that range? Get your answers in for me in the comments section. Type in Y for yes or N for no. From Jay Woolsey, save money, sign, trade for head coach Sean Payton and receiver Michael Thomas. Your thoughts? Payton, yes. Michael Thomas, no. I do not trust him to be healthy. He's barely played the past 2 years, and he's not going to be ready for minicamp, it seems, and maybe training camp at that point. So, Michael Thomas, big red flags for me. Don't want him right now. We can revisit that later next offseason. I do think, though, Jay, kind of on the right track. It does seem like the Cowboys are setting their books up for success next year. Rashard Lee, who has more to prove this year, Zeke or D-Law? The one who's not guaranteed to be on your roster next year, that is Zeke Elliott. The Cowboys redid Tank's contract. Basically, he took a pay cut, and he's sticking around. Zeke Elliott, however, maybe not. Maybe not. His deal is get outable. Get out of a bull. Able to get out of. There we go. Escapable. There you go, Jeremy. That's a better smart word. After the season. So, keep an eye on Zeke having to ball out to keep his job in Dallas. Super chat alert from Jay Elam. $20, by the way. Thank you, Jay, my man. $69 in super chat. We'll do some shots today. DK, Deebo, get one. Sam Williams, pray he goes beast mode. I mean, look, if you get me DK or Deebo, I'd be hyped. Those are both awesome receivers. And for Sam Williams or Dorrance Armstrong or someone has to emerge as that if we include Mike as a pass rusher, the number 3 pass rusher. From the better Jeremy, the cooler Jeremy Shaver, $6.96 on the super chat. Nice. If you could bring back DeMarcus Ware or Deion Sanders in their prime. Oh, man. My answer is always Deion Sanders. He is my favorite all-time player, and I could utilize him in all 3 phases. There's my punt returner. Imagine Deion and Trayvon Diggs together. That's elite duo. I can trade away Anthony Brown at that point. there's my number 1 corner. Diggs now my number 2. And there's my slot receiver. I just solved 3 needs for the Cowboys. I love Ware. Don't get me wrong. It's Deion Sanders for me, though. Today's show is presented and protected by Aura. Their all-in-one digital safety tool offers financial fraud protection, identity theft protection, online and device security for you and up to 5 members of your family. They'll give you near real-time alerts on any and all suspicious credit activities because if you're like most people, at some point your credit card got hacked, debit card, even if it wasn't even your fault. So start your free trial today. 14 days worth, cancel at any time at aura.com/chatsports. That link will be in the comments section and it'll be in the description. From Vince, did the Cowboys win with or because of Dak? It's a little of both. There are games in which they've won with Dak, and there are certainly games they've won because of Dak. So because there's both, I'd probably go more with the because of side of things. But that's a very fair question to ask since it's been a very popular one all of a sudden from the talking heads on ESPN. From Dwayne Porter, $10 super chat. Thank you, Dwayne. In my opinion, we will not be in the running for Coach Payton. He is just like his mentor. He wants control of the roster, and Catboy won't go for that. Who else can be in consideration for head coach? Dwayne's got a good point. That's one of your potential issues in landing Sean Payton. Beyond that, it would be very, very, very Cowboys to simply promote Dan Quinn or Kellen Moore and not really do an actual head coach search because they haven't really done one beyond Marvin Lewis and Mike McCarthy for last time since Wade Phillips. It's been a long time. Chris Snow, what do you think of Bland being out for the year because of injury? That is referencing Deron Bland. I think you mean Bond. I believe you're referring to Devontae Bond, not Darren Bland, because I haven't read anything about Bland being hurt. Devontae Bond is out for the year, the linebacker, which is unfortunate. In the end, he probably wasn't going to make the roster, so sucks for him. I feel bad for him, but isn't really going to impact the Dallas Cowboys roster. Now, if you want to be a part of these live mailbags, subscribe. That's step number 1. Our shows are done live on Thursdays. We answer your live questions. So if you haven't already, hit that big red button and subscribe today. Bhavik Patel, what is the biggest training camp battle with the Cowboys? A couple ones, and we'll do a full video on this. I think you've got receiver 3-ish, like who's 2, who's 3. I think as boring as this is, punt returner. Who is going to be your punt returner this year? A lot of guys haven't had that role in the past. A lot of your other spots are mostly locked in. You can mention like defensive tackle, but punt returner, massive question mark right now. Antonio Poole, the Rams are going to be out of money. Are they though? Are they actually? They print it on a printing press. Should Dallas swoop in for Van Jefferson if they sign Odell Beckham? Okay, second half actually makes a little bit more sense to me. The Rams have a weird roster where they paid Allen Robinson, paid Cooper Kupp, could hypothetically sign OBJ, drafted Van Jefferson and Tutu Atwell in the second round. So, if they do sign OBJ and want to move on from somebody, that could actually make some sense, I think, in the end. Not the worst idea we've seen here on the show, I promise you on that one, Antonio. So when it comes to trade ideas, name a player who you guys want to trade for. Keep it realistic, please, but let me know in the comments section. From Devin Edwards, why can't Dallas have that win now mentality? Great question. Lots of reasons. They want to have a big gap in terms of like their window. They don't want to go too far in for 1 year because they think that will negatively impact them too much in the long run, and they want to be a playoff team and see if they get lucky every year, which hasn't worked for a long time now. From A Money, who's your breakout player on offense and defense? So we've actually done already offensive breakout players, my friend. That video's on the channel already. We will also do defensive breakout players on Cowboys Report after hours at rumble.com/CowboysTV. Here is the offensive thumbnail. It's on YouTube. It's on Rumble. The defensive version, to give you a more in-depth answer than, like 30 seconds on a player. We went deeper than that. We'll be on the Cowboys Report after hours, rumble.com/CowboysTV. From Micah Parsons, would you pick me for Defensive Player of the Year if you got to choose? Probably pretty good value. Aaron Donald always seems like the correct answer, but Micah's going to be in that conversation too. I should say, you're going to be in that conversation, my friend. From Junior Estrada, should the Cowboys trade for DK Metcalf or Deebo Samuel? Had this conversation many a time before. Should they? Sure. Go get a big-time impact receiver. I'm all for it. Playmakers help your offense, help your team win games. Will they? No. They're not going to. That costs too much. $25 million or so and a first and a third round pick. They will not go that route. I can pretty much promise you on that front. Super chat from King Shadow 24. Sign Sue, Barr/Hitchens, and trade for Jalen Darden. I like it. Darden becomes your receiver 3/4, your punt returner. Sue helps your defensive line. Hitchens gives you linebacker depth. They can easily afford that if they want to. Will they? They do tend to like their guys. Dexon third. Will Tyler Smith play more at left tackle or left guard? The full expectation here is that Tyler Smith is going to be the starter at left guard. Now, that does not mean he won't get some left tackle reps, because I would expect and assume at this point that you see Tyron Smith end up getting hurt, because he's always hurt and unable to stay healthy for an entire 16 and now 17 game season. So I think the volume comes at left guard, but I do think we'll see him at least a little bit at the left tackle spot this season. So wait and see, but that's likely the outcome as far as I'm concerned. Yeeteroni Yee. Few of my Cowboys, but I think this year is going to be a tank year to make an excuse to rid of McCarthy for Sean the following year. What do you think? I don't know if it's not a full-fledged tanking year, but they did not operate with the same level of urgency at all, really. So, not a tanking year, but not an aggressive year either. From Brandon Edwards. What is this one? If you could make a mini-series/movie on the 90s Cowboys, who would you cast as Jerry and the triplets? I have no idea. Who would let me just try and get a Jerry Jones casting here. Go all out and see if Anthony, what's his last name? Oh, Jesus. I can't remember his name. He's very famous answer. Anthony Hopkins? What if he could play Jerry? I don't know. Emmitt Smith played by Omar Epps because it kind of looks like Mike Tomlin. It's funny. I don't know. All right, Gerard Dawson. Does Terrell Basham have any trade value? Maybe a 7th. Basham is like a number 4 at best edge, and those guys don't have a lot of value, so probably not from that standpoint. We asked you earlier to name a player to trade for. Now I want you to pick one to trade away. Who do you want the Cowboys to simply move on from, get whatever you can back in a trade? Let me know in the comments section. Steven Gonzalez, would you rather sign Schultz for a large contract or trade for a receiver if they were guaranteed to get 800-plus yards? If it's if it's the same yardage on both guys, I actually think you're better off going with the tight end in Dalton Schultz, because 800 yards at tight end is a lot more than 800 yards at wide receiver. So if it's just based on purely the yardage, you're actually better off with Schultz. I like that Dexon question, by the way, earlier, so pick one for me. Where will Tyler Smith play more at? Left guard or left tackle? Let me know in the comments section which position he ends up playing more at. Roy Williams, Tom, when are we going to sign someone? I am frustrated and pissed off. You've got technically 2 roster spots because you cut LaKendrick Van Zant and Devontae Bonds out for the year in a little bit. So, somebody will get signed. Is it someone you've heard of? I'm not so sure. Kevin Cobb, what would you set the over-under at for Sam Williams sacks this year? I think 5.5. It's actually what we set it at. I was actually at 6 last time. I think you're on the right track. If you get 5 to 5.5 sacks in year 1, that's a good sign. If we did not get to your question, hit me up on Twitter at whatgoingdowny. My DMs are open to answer any questions we did not get to on today's Cowboys Report mailbag.